Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and I make a video about once a week about beauty, makeup, skincare, that kind of thing. And I like to do a lot of focus on more mindful consumption around makeup. So I do a lot of shop my stash, using what I have, project panning, that kind of thing. So that's what today's video is. It is a project pan update and I almost can't believe that it is October. Like, that is crazy. We only have 3 months left of 2025, and I feel like this month I hit some major progress goals on the items in my project pan, so I'm feeling a lot more confident about this last 3 months of the year. I was feeling a little iffy in the last update, but I'm feeling better. So if you want to see my updates on the 5 makeup items that I'm using and the 5 eyeshadow palettes that I'm using, then just keep watching. So let's just dive right in and start with the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Powder that I'm trying to work through. Here's what we're looking like. I feel like this is one of the products where I hit a point where I was like, okay, it is moving much faster now and I feel more confident that we're gonna finish this by the end of the year. I felt like it took me so long to hit pan and then it was such a small amount of pan and it wasn't expanding, but then all of a sudden this month it really expanded, so now I've just got the edges left and it really is time for me to repress this. I kept saying that in the last few updates, but I really wanted to wait till I got to this point, and so I'm feeling more confident about that, and I definitely think that this is a product that I will finish by the end of the year, and I used this 22 times in the month of September. Next, let's check in on my 6-pan Hourglass palette. I'm trying to pan this entire palette by the end of the year. And this is another product where I feel like I hit some progress on this quite a lot this month, to the point where I'm feeling for sure like I'm gonna be able to completely use up this palette by the end of the year. So here is what we are looking like. So in previous updates, I used up this bronzer and this kind of setting powder. And right now I am working on this like glowy bronzer slash highlight. This light blush, I have been able to get to this point just kind of organically. It's not officially in the project. I'm just doing one pan at a time in the project. But I've made so much progress on that, just kind of using it. It's been such a great blush for the summer up until now. That lighter color, it also works as like a nice little blush highlight. So we've gotten to that point organically. But this is the progress for the thing that's actually in the project right now. And you can see I've hit major pan. And once you hit this point on the Hourglass products, it goes really quickly. So I still have to work through this powder, which is definitely like leveling out, and I'm using this in conjunction with my CoverGirl powder, so I think too I will hit that pretty soon. And then the main one left is going to be this darker blush. But after seeing how quickly I was able to get to this point on this blush, just kind of using it most days, I think I've got 3 months to work through this, and it's just the perfect color blush for this time of year as we get more into the fall winter months. So I'm feeling pretty darn confident about this palette. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I used the highlighty bronzer, I used that 22 times as well in the month of September. The next product is my ColourPop highlighter. I had repressed this and I feel like the progress is just kind of going slow on this. We've got, oh, did a piece of that just fall out? That's not great. I don't want to be losing product. But here's what it is. I've got a little bit of pan going here since I've repressed it. I only used this 11 times in the month of September. It's just a little goes a long way, and I just feel like I was pretty ambitious thinking I was going to be able to use the whole thing up by the end of the year, but I definitely am glad that I was able to repress it, get to this point. I've still got 3 months left, so I think I can make a lot of progress. I just don't think it's going to be completely gone. But I do really like this highlighter. I think it's great for all year round because, as I always say, it's kind of that mix of champagne and gold. So it can kind of pull more silver or more gold depending on the look that the rest of your makeup is giving. So I do really like it, and it's such an affordable highlighter, and I like the texture. So I'm happy to keep using it, even though I don't think I'm gonna be able to use it completely up, which is a bummer. Unfortunately, I left my Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Pen at work, and I am on a long weekend right now, so I'm not gonna get it back until like sometime after this video gets posted. So I will try to come back in and add a screenshot here of what that is looking like. I made some great progress on this. I know I had said that once I kind of got to the point where we were in the clear part of the tube. That's when we were really going to start to be able to see the progress. And we are there. I used that 27 times in September. I got really into like making sure that I was reading, applying throughout the day, and just that kind of thing. So it made me use it a couple more times. So I feel like maybe by the end of October, that could be used up. But yes, I will do my best to insert a screenshot here. And then the last item we're gonna check in on is my lip liner. It is looking super tiny. And when I went to sharpen this the other day, it is to the point where I can almost not sharpen it anymore. But also, I think I had showed this the last time, the actual liner part, there's only like down to here left of it, and it actually like falls out now. It's not now, but I feel like I'm gonna keep trying to use this until it breaks off or I can't anymore. So I'm not officially calling it empty, but I just don't think it's going to feasibly be usable for the rest of October. So I'm going to unofficially roll something in, kind of, not to replace this, but maybe use in conjunction with, just so that I've got another little lip product going. And it's just my little mini Tower 28 pistachio like lip cream gloss. And there's just really not that much left in here. I really want to use this up before the end of the year to be able to add it to my numbers. And since they're both just so tiny, I think that I can use these up with that Maracuja Juicy Lip. I think they all work really well together. So unofficially rolling this in, but I just kind of want to be working on this a little bit, but knowing that this isn't completely gone. But I just think the tip's going to break off at some point this month and I'm not going to be able to keep using it. So I don't know. Let me know if you think that's fair or not. I think it is, and I just want to make a little progress on some of those things. So those are the 5 items. So nothing officially rolling out per se, nothing is empty, but we have made a lot of progress this month and I'm very excited about that. So now let's move on to the eyeshadow project pan part of this project. So before we get into it, I will say up front, there is one shadow that I did hit pan on, so we'll be rolling that out and rolling for a new shadow at the end. But first, let's go through the ones that are staying in for this next rotation. First is my Profusion Mauves palette, and I have been using this shade called Kindly. And again, I feel like I keep seeing more and more of that waffle pan in there, which means I'm getting really close. But this color I actually have been using a lot for blush. I've been using it as like my base blush and then putting that lighter Hourglass one kind of on top to highlight it. So that's been working really well. So I'm gonna keep doing that until I hit pan on this. And I think that's going pretty well. In the month of September, I used this 19 times as a blush, I think every single time. The next palette that is going to stay in rotation this next round is my Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. And I am working on the shade Wit. This has been really great to use as a crease shade right now. I used Wit 15 times in the month of September, so pretty good. And this worked really well on days when I was also doing a really simple look. I could just put this in the crease and kind of blend it out and call it a day. But I really like that shade, and it also kind of made me dip into some of the other shades in here and remind me of how much I really do enjoy this palette. So that's going to stay in as a crease shade. Oh yeah, I'm doing a bad job. I usually swatch it on my arm so that we'll have a good color story going. Or on my hand, what the color story we'll be doing. So there's Wit. Okay, so we've got Kindly and Wit. Ignore my watch stand. Kindly from Profusion Mauves, Wit from I Need a Nude. The next shade that I had rolled in that's staying in is from the ABH Modern Renaissance palette, and it is this kind of mustardy shade, Golden Ochre. So this I was also using in conjunction with Wit as my kind of transition shade. So like today I've got Wit kind of on the outer third or 2/3, and then Golden Ochre kind of on the inner 2/3, and kind of blend those together. And let's do a little swatchy swatch of Golden Ochre. But there's that. So it comes off a lot more brown than yellow. I feel like in the pan it looks quite yellow. But on the skin it comes off a little more of that caramel brown. So you can see that color story already has been really nice to work with this month. But that shade is going to stay in rotation. And then I had also rolled in one of my other ABH palettes, my favorite one, Norvina. And I was using Rose Gold. This one right in the middle. It is quite intense. It's what I have on my lids today, and I just kind of blended it out and added an outer corner shade to kind of tone it down a little bit because it can be kind of a lot. I mean, you can just see it's a little flashy for an everyday look, but it is really pretty. What great color payoff you're getting. And again, these all do kind of work really well together. So those are the 4 shades that are staying in. So let's take a look at the one that we're rolling out, and it is from my Coastal palette from Alter Ego. The brand, they dupe a lot of other palettes. This is one of the Huda palettes that they duped. And I actually had hit pan on another shade in here previously in the project. It was this shade up here called Shore. And we hit, or wait, yes, Shore. And then I was working on Glow. And so you can see there is a little pan there. So that is exciting to use or to hit pan on that as well, and to have 2 pans going in this palette, especially a palette that was a little more new to me. But it has been really fun because, as I always say, even though I'm only like dedicated to using 1 shade in each of the palettes, it still kind of forces me, not forces, it inspires me to also dip into some other shades in the palette. Like today I put all 5 of these shades on my eyes, but I don't do that every single day because it's kind of intense. So some days I'll be like, I'm just gonna use one of the ABH palettes in this, and then I just kind of create a look from the rest of the colors in here. So it is kind of fun in that way, and makes me be a little more creative. But yeah, so we're gonna be rolling this out. So let's roll for a new color. And funnily enough, I rolled for another color in the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. So that number that I rolled corresponds in here to Filigree, which is this shade over here. So it's a darker kind of glittery satin shade. So that actually might be really nice for this time of year. We're getting into the fall months. We want a little more smokiness going. Ooh, that's really pretty. I'm liking this color story. That will be great kind of as an outer corner, or if I just want to do a more smoky look, I could line my under eye with that. Super pretty. Really happy about that. So yeah, that's exciting. So now, since I've got 2 shades going in the 1 palette, I only have 4 palettes going right now. So we've got the 2 ABH, the I Need a Nude, and then the Profusion Moss. So those are the 4 that I'm gonna be using in the month of October. Hopefully I hit pan on one of these as well to kind of up that pan percentage. So that's exciting because hitting pan on that shade in the Coastal palette brought my total pans in my eyeshadow collection up to 9 pans. And I have 198 eyeshadows. So that percentage puts me at a 4.5-ish% pan in my collection. So that is really exciting. I was hoping to hit like the 5 to 6% pans in my collection by the end of the year. So I think we are on track to maybe accomplish that, which is very exciting. And I don't know if I said that at the beginning. I have 198 total eyeshadow, like single eyeshadow shades in my collection, but as I hit pan on one, I roll that out of what's being eligible to be rolled for in my randomizer app. So that leaves me with, 189 shades to roll from, which is what I did this time to get that new shade in the I Need a Nude palette. So that is exciting. I am glad that I have made progress on both sides of this project, both in the products and in the eyeshadows. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. I would really appreciate that. Leave a comment below of how you think I'm doing on that Hourglass palette. I would like to know. I also want to know, this is not makeup related, but since we're getting into fall, I want to know what shows you enjoy kind of rewatching during the fall. I know a lot of us like to rewatch Gilmore Girls or Gossip Girl, Vampire Diaries. I just want to know what you're interested in rewatching or what you enjoy rewatching. I'm always looking for something to rewatch and just kind of have on in the background as like a comfort show. So that would be fun to discuss. And yeah, hit that subscribe bell or the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're updated with all of my upcoming videos. My next one will be my empties for this quarter. Apologies for probably wearing the same outfit in that one. I am kind of pre-filming because when these videos go up, I will be in the process of moving or will have already moved. So I kind of just wanted to get ahead. So yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video.